So how we gonna do this, Bill Bob?
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna jump in there with the rope hopper.
All right.
We'll get on top of her, grab her by the neck and go, yay!
All right.
Stand up. You put the rope halter on her.
All right.
Oh, get her out of there.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
Let's just pull the feet in.
All right.
Hello nation, and welcome back to the homestead. Well, here on the homestead, you know, Robin and I, we try to be as transparent as possible. And sometimes things happen. Sometimes animals get sick, sometimes animals die. You know, it's just a part of homesteading. You can't really, everything can't be unicorns and rainbows all of the time. And today is one of those situations. Now, with dairy cows, especially ones that are on pasture all the time, they do stand a very high chance of getting sick right after they calf. You have a good possibility of them getting a lot of parasites. A respiratory infection is also really high, and that's due to, one, the stress of labor, the stress of her body trying to produce and make all of the colostrum and the milk that the calf needs, and then of course the stress of everyday living, and now she has to protect her calf, and everything goes along with that. And so stress, just like in humans, will weaken the immune system of a cow. So you have to keep an eye on it, and that's what we've done here on the homestead. Both Delma and Calf Pal both have calved. Well, they're both showing signs of being one, having some parasites, and two, starting to show some signs of a respiratory disease. Now the respiratory illness, not disease, but respiratory illness is showing up more in Delma than in Calf Pal. All right, so what are some signs that you can see that will tell you that your cows are not feeling well, or sick, or there could be a parasite issue, a respiratory issue? Well, this is what we noticed in our cows. First, right off the bat, we noticed Delma had diarrhea really bad. Calf Pal's was a little runny, but not as bad. Both of their coats were not as shiny as I would have liked, and they were kind of rough in some patches. And then overall, after they calved, they just seemed to lose more weight than I was comfortable with. Now, that's when we started natural treatments with them. Calf Pal seems to be bouncing back, where on the other hand, Delma is getting worse. And what makes me say that Delma is getting worse, if you notice, Delma's ears are real droopy. They're down. She kind of seems sad, like she's depressed. She has a very bad runny nose, and she has discharge from both of her eyes. We began to treat for these symptoms as we were seeing them, and we try to do it as naturally as possible. So one of the things that we started to do with when it came to the parasites is we started mixing DE in with their feed as we were feeding them. We also brought them in off the pasture and then put them in first new, and we've been, of course, keeping up, removing the feces and whatnot and stuff like that. But Delma has continued to lose weight and started to go downhill a little bit. Now, one of the things, on a side note with Delma, I think the reason why Delma is worse off than Calf Pal is that we noticed on the way when we were bringing Delma up on that video that you guys saw when we found out that Delma had a calf, we also noticed that Delma had pink eye. And so we tried treating that naturally also with oregano. We took the oregano that we grew in the garden, we dehydrated it, and we started mixing it in with her feed. And it actually started to go away, but then she developed this respiratory disease, which also weakened her immune system, started focusing on that. And so the pink eye started to return as well. So Robin and I talked about it, and we decided to go nuclear with it. And that's what that's our term, when we have to step up and treat with antibiotics and stuff like that. Now, Delma today she's getting 2 shots. She's getting 1 shot for the respiratory disease, which does not have what they call a withdrawal, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. But the second shot she's getting is for the pink eye, and that one does have a withdrawal. So what's a withdrawal? When you give any of your livestock any type of antibiotic, if you read on it, it'll tell you if it has a withdrawal, meaning that the antibiotic will be in the meat or in the milk products that whatever animal that you're giving it to, that it's producing, and it's not safe for human consumption. Now let me say that again. It's not safe for human consumption. So it has a withdrawal period, meaning in Delma's case, we're gonna have to, when we milk her, take the milk that she's producing, put it in a separate bucket than what we milk calf cow with, and then in returns we'll give that milk either to the calves and then anything that's left over to the pigs, because it's safe for them, it's just not safe for human consumption. Say that again. It's not, when it has a withdrawal, it's not safe for human consumption. The reason why I keep iterating this is because, I mean, it can get you really, really sick. So you have to read your boxes very carefully, the stuff that you get at Tractor Supply or your local feed and seed. And if you don't see it on there, find somebody, especially at your local feed and seed. Like we've got a guy there that he's been doing cattle his whole life. He's been doing longhorns and stuff like that. So he's the one that helped us with the fence. We double checked with him and he said yes, he has even used these products with his cows, and he's had the withdrawal that he had to do for the pink eye, but not with the one for the respiratory disease. Now, a lot of these are all weight based. For 700 pounds, it's 31.5 milliliters, but Delma's a little bit off. She's over 700 pounds. She's right around 742 with the measurements. And so she's not at 800, which 800 was 36 milliliters. The 700 pounds was 31.5 milliliters. So we ended up splitting the difference and giving this to her. We should start to see improvement in Delma within the next couple of days. Now, since we decided to go nuclear on Delma with her respiratory illness and the pink eye, we also went ahead and went nuclear on both of them with the parasites. We did a pour-on parasite killer that has no withdrawal on it. So we went ahead and just did that completely for both of them. So there you go. Not everything in homesteading, like I said earlier, is rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes you have things come up that you have to deal with and you can't do it naturally. Now, I hope you guys found this video informative, and it'll help you out if you come across one of your animals being sick. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, but I also want you to check out this video over here on a beginner's guide to raising cattle. Thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless, and have a nice day.